Right around the moment the broadcast came back from the injury timeout and the camera landed on Will Campbell with that dreaded towel over the head look, everything inside me shifted. That's the universal sign that something is very wrong. Denial lasted maybe a second, anger owned the rest of the day, and by this morning I found myself drifting into bargaining. But trying to negotiate with the football gods during Thanksgiving week is almost impossible. This is the one time a year where the entire point is to give thanks by eating and overindulging in everything. So for now, I'm holding off on any emotional sacrifices. The news that followed brought a wave of relief. An MCL sprain instead of an ACL tear for both Campbell and Jarod Wilson. Sprains, not season-ending injuries. That isn't dodging bullets, that's ducking flying missiles. Still far from ideal, but dramatically better than what so many feared. And it makes securing the top seed even more important. A playoff bye now feels like a protective bubble this team needs to get healthy. With the playoff odds sitting sky high, there's no true desperation game ahead. Rest Campbell and Wilson for the upcoming matchup, get to the bye, reset before Buffalo comes to town in mid-December. And conveniently, the Bills have dropped recent games that make this stretch a little less unforgiving. This is a moment to breathe, not panic, but that doesn't erase the concerns that hovered over this roster from the start. Depth was thin in some areas, especially on the offensive line. When Campbell came out and Vidarian Lowe stepped in, every fan immediately flashed back to the chaos of last season. 13 penalties, multiple sacks allowed, constant pressures. Those numbers were brutal. And what made it worse was how often he struggled compared to how few opportunities he actually had. It was a rough combination. Coaching played a role. The previous offensive line coach wasn't exactly admired in Foxborough, pushing a technique that never seemed to click. Even the projected starter at tackle lasted only a handful of snaps before mentally checking out. It was dysfunction from top to bottom. But now, with Doug Marrone guiding the line, maybe Lowe can stabilize himself and show why he's hung around the league for several years. As for Ben Brown stepping in for Wilson, it's not a disaster scenario. Last season, playing slightly out of position, he still ranked well in pass protection and held his own in the run game despite the coaching issues surrounding him. That deserves some patience and optimism. The best part is that it looks like neither backup will be forced into long-term roles, and that alone is something to be truly thankful for. I'm grateful I didn't bargain anything away in a panic. The rookies are still intact, the season is still on track, and there will be plenty of reasons to raise a glass this week. Cheers to that.